Hi, I'm Grace, and this week we're going to be looking at some beginner crochet patterns. This video you can use as a resource for the direct pattern links themselves, of course. Everything will be linked in the description in a Canva doc, but you can also use this as a resource for the types of projects that are suitable for beginners. So even if you don't want to use the direct patterns that I mention in this video, you can at least get an idea for what types of projects you can be searching for where you would find good beginner-friendly patterns. I have 5 categories for you today. I've got clothes, hats, other accessories, amigurumi, and decor. We'll start with the hats category. The first one I have is the Easy Knit Look Hat by Crafty Kitty Crochet. This is a free pattern on their blog, and I'm pretty sure it uses chunky yarn, so it'll make up pretty quickly. This one is also good because it's made flat, not in the round, so you're just making a big rectangle and then sewing it up, which is the easiest way to make a beanie. Moving on, I've got another simple rib knit beanie, but with a little added detail. It's the Crochet Frog Hat by The Caffeinated Snail. It's a free pattern on their blog. Again, this is a simple rib knit beanie, pretty sure it's made flat, but then on the ribbed brim, they added a little frog detail, and if you have safety eyes, you can use those, or beads, buttons, or you can just embroider some little eyes and cheeks on. So dang cute, and I think it would be a really easy win for a beginner. Moving on, I have some bucket hats for you. So the first one I have is the Bear Bucket Hat by Atelier Delilah. This is a free pattern on their blog as well. So you can use velvet or chenille yarn for this pattern. I actually did this. I didn't know there was like a pattern for it, but when I was a beginner, I made this really cute chenille bear bucket hat in brown, and I still have it, and it's cute. It's a bit loose though. I made it really big, but yeah, it's super easy, super fun. Next up is the Quick and Easy Bucket Hat by Viv Crochets. This one is a super basic bucket hat, just single crochets. There's a video tutorial for it as well, which I think is a great starting point to get used to working in the round, increases, back loop only. So you'll learn some new techniques for this one, but then you can make it fun with your yarn choice. If you choose a variegated yarn or a slightly textured yarn, or you do it as a scrap project and just keep adding new strands of scrap yarn to the hat, I think that would be really awesome. Or you can even just make it a plain hat and then sew things onto it. You can make little appliques, you can embroider things on it, or just glue things on it, bows, I don't know, buttons, just stuff, just glue stuff on it, and you can make it a little bit more personal. Next up is a less simple one. It's a strawberry bucket hat, and I just thought this was adorable, and it's a video tutorial, so it should be pretty beginner friendly. I mean, it's cute. You won't need to add anything to this one, so yeah, moving on. The last pattern I have in the hats category is the Oh Snap Bucket Hat by Once Upon a Cheerio, and this is a free pattern on their blog. People have been really into checkered patterns lately, so I thought I would include something cool, and this will help you sort of get used to doing color work. So I would recommend this one after you've maybe made a plain bucket hat like the Viv Crochets one, just so that you can get used to working in the round and all those other techniques before you learn color changes. Next up, we'll be looking at other accessories, so some more small, quick projects that'll be easy wins for a beginner. First up, I have the Bobble Kerchief Bandana pattern by Pattern Paradise. This is a free pattern on their blog. It should be pretty easy to pull off, and you'll be learning some new stitches if you haven't already learned the bobble stitch. Yeah, it's super easy, super quick, and I think bandanas are like great gifts or like market items as well if you're aspiring to do markets one day. The texture alone is quite interesting, so you can just use a solid color, but I think pairing this with a nice variegated yarn, and when you get more into yarn, using like a hand-dyed yarn with like beautiful colors and things, I think this would be a really great pattern for that. Moving on, I have one more bandana pattern. It's the Patchwork Bandana by Annie Design Crochet. This is a free pattern on their blog. This is a more fun one, especially good if you have some scrap yarns. It's just a bunch of really small granny squares sewn together and then have a little border around. So yeah, a great scrap project, and I like the look of this one. It's a bit more, it's very unique. Okay, next up I have the V-Stitch stitch scarf pattern by Passionate Kelsey. A scarf is a pretty classic beginner project in knitting and crochet, and this one looks super wide, long, and comfy. I mean, obviously you can adjust the width and the length to your liking, but I like the texture of this one. I think it would go really well with a mixed colored yarn. Alright, moving on, I have some bags. First up, I have the Easy Water Bottle bag by Viv Crochets. This is a YouTube tutorial. It's a pretty good entry into bags because it's very small and it's mesh, so it'll work up super quickly, and you can have fun with it with the colors, and you can make little charms to sew onto it. Next up, I have the Market Bag pattern by Stephanie Z. This is a YouTube tutorial as well. Again, another really quick and easy bag pattern. It's all mesh, so it won't take too long to work up. There's 2 sizes to choose from, so you can start with the smaller one. And this bag would be great to take grocery shopping, fruit shopping, or, as it says, take to markets. Next up, I have the Granny Square Tote Bag by Crafted by Kat. And this is a YouTube tutorial. This bag is a pretty classic crochet bag design. I'm pretty sure it uses 14 granny squares, and then you just sew them in a little X shape kind of thing, and then do a little border with your handles. Next up is the Checkered Tote Bag by Viv Crochets. I made this bag in a sparkly Lion Brand yarn. I don't remember which one exactly it was, and it was so cute. I love this pattern. It's really easy, and again, it teaches you working in the round, carrying your colors. I would recommend doing this after making a couple more plain items, but yeah, if you're interested in learning how to do color work, this would also be a great start. Okay, next up is another kind of granny square bag. This is a tutorial by Viv Crochets again, and this one is even simpler. It's just 3 really big granny squares, and then you fold them in half and sew them like a little envelope kind of thing. And there are many people making bags like this, but I just thought, this is a YouTube tutorial and has a written pattern, so that's the one I chose in this video, but there are so many more like this. For the last few patterns in this category, I have little trinket AirPod lipstick pouches. These are a super quick, easy project, great gifts as well. So the first one I have is the Granny Square AirPods pouch by Lulu Crochet Studio. This is a YouTube tutorial, and again, it's basically just 2 really small granny squares. If you're using worsted weight yarn, you'd probably just do like 2 or 3 rows of the granny stitch around. Yeah, this one is super easy and a great gift. Most people have not necessarily AirPods, but like just wireless earbuds or even just corded headphones. You can coil them up and pop them in here. But next up, I have the Flower AirPods pouch by Hook and Loop Crochet Tutorials on YouTube. And this one is a slightly more interesting design. Super cute little flower pouch. So it's like a little bag charm in itself, but then inside you can have your AirPods, your lip balm, your lighter, whatever else you have. And the last little pouch pattern I have is the Mushroom pouch by Kiyomi Craft. This is a YouTube tutorial. This one would not be for your AirPods. This one will be more for lip balm, lipstick, cash, lighter. It's just small items like that. And again, it's super cute, so it looks like a little bag charm, and then you can have it as a little storage element. I love that. The next pattern I have for you is the Velvet Scrunchie by Passionate Kelsey. Scrunchies are a great beginner project. I think it's actually one of the first things I made. So easy, so quick. Velvet yarn can be a little tricky to see, so there's a bit of a challenge for you, but other than that, it's pretty easy. But if you don't want to work with velvet yarn, I have another scrunchie pattern, which is the Easy Crochet Scrunchie by Viv Crochets. Yeah, a couple options for you. If you don't want to work with velvet yarn, I'd recommend this one. Alright, that finishes off the accessories category. So next up, we'll move into amigurumi. Once you have a couple projects under your belt, you might want to try amigurumi. This was something I desperately wanted to do when I was a beginner. I was in love with the idea of making plushies and cute little things. So these are some that I think would be really good to start with. Really small, simple, minimal sewing even. There was a huge boom in no-sew patterns a couple years ago. Everyone was just obsessed with not sewing. I don't think sewing is that hard. I think people just find it really boring, but no-sew patterns are really quick and entry level. So most of these are going to be no-sew or minimal sewing. The first pattern I have is the Leggy Frog by Not Jaded Co. This is a paid pattern on her Etsy. I've already raved about her in other videos. She makes lovely, adorable, easy patterns, and I love them. I love all of them. The next one is also by Not Jaded Co. It's the Sock Monkey pattern on her Etsy as well. It's just super fun, works up so quickly, great for markets, great for gifts. If you've done a couple amigurumi projects and you know you like amigurumi and you want to explore more, then move on to this one, definitely. They're so good. The next two patterns I have are actually my patterns. I know it's a bit sneaky. At the moment, they are paid, but they're only for $1 on my Ribbler. This was actually recorded ages ago, and I've since published free YouTube tutorials for my no-sew bear and no-sew cow patterns, so the link in the description in the Canva doc will go to the free video tutorial rather than the paid version. They are the no-sew bear and the no-sew cow patterns. I can make these in like less than 30 minutes. They are super quick, super easy, and they turn out super cute, and people like them for markets and things, and no sewing involved. All of the little arms and legs are just bobble stitches. Next up is a free pattern by Sweet Softies. It's the No Sew Duck YouTube tutorial, and she has a free written pattern on her website. This pattern is so cute. I made one for my little brother. They crochet up really quickly. They take you through it really in good detail. At the end, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a cute result. The next pattern I have is also by Sweet Softies. It's the Tiny Rex pattern. My little brother went through a phase where I think he brought something to school that I had made, and so everyone was asking him if I could make them stuff. So he'd come home with a little list of animals he wanted me to make, T-Rex obviously being one of them, so I made that for him to give to someone. And yeah, it's cute. It's great if you have younger siblings or kids, nephews, nieces, whatever. Yeah, Sweet Softies makes so many really cute free patterns. Just check out their website and you'll find something really cute to make, and most of them are pretty beginner friendly. Next up, I have the No Sew Spider Car Charm by Crochet Calls on YouTube. This is a cute little spider that you can have as just a plushie, or there's the option to crochet a little spider web chain so that you can hang it on your car mirror. Next up is a super simple beginner plushie pattern. It's just a snake by Yubaki Crochet. It's a super simple pattern. It's just a really long tube. You can make it as long as you want, so when you get bored, just stop working on it. Close it off, make it a short snake. That's fine. And you can make it more interesting with color changes if you like, do some stripes or something, but this would just get you used to working in the round, working your increases, working with chenille yarn if that's what you want to do. Next up, I have the Mini Red Panda keychain by DIY Fluffies on YouTube. There is also a free written pattern on their blog, and I just thought this was super cute, and it's a less traditional animal. You always see bears and frogs and bunnies, that kind of thing, but a red panda is a more unique animal to make, and this one is super beginner friendly, and you'll get a cute keychain out of it. The next pattern is also by me, and this one I would recommend if you've made a couple smaller plushies and you're wanting to tackle a bigger, more customizable project. It's the Strawberry pattern, and this can be found on my Ribbler or my Etsy. It's cheaper on Ribbler though. You can make the strawberry bear if you want, but I used this pattern as well to make so many different bears. I was on a bear craze when I made this pattern. I made a honey bear, a day-night bear, a care bear, a fluffy bear, a frog out of this bear pattern. It's very versatile and customizable, or you can literally just follow the pattern with the basic bear and then add the accessories on to make the strawberry. It's a very cute pattern, if I do say so myself. Moving on, the last three patterns I have in this category are all by Hooked by Robin, and I think Hooked by Robin single-handedly taught so many people how to crochet. Her tutorials are so easy to follow and amazing. They are the tutorials that I followed when I was first starting, and everything I made turned out so cute. nothing was like wonky. My technique has gotten better now, but I would still make these patterns just for fun because they're so cute. So the first one I have for you is the bee pattern by Hooked by Robin. All of these are YouTube tutorials, and it's a classic bee. You've probably seen it everywhere on Instagram. Super easy to make. What more can I really say there? The next pattern I have is the jellyfish keyring pattern. And I used to sell these on Etsy and people loved them. They were so quick and fun to make. I would give them to my coworkers. I'd give them out as gifts to everybody. If you don't have safety eyes, you can just use beads or embroider eyes on. Hooked by Robin also has a super easy technique for sewing a mouth, and I still use this technique. I don't know what other people are doing, but this is how I embroider mouths onto plushies. The last pattern I have for the amigurumi category is the whale pattern by Hooked by Robin. It's a YouTube tutorial as well, obviously, as I said. And yeah, this one is also very easy. I haven't made it in so long, but I remember making a few of these and they all turned out so cute, and you can customize them after you make a basic one. I made one inspired by a killer whale, so I just made this shape and then crocheted some little white ovals to sew next to the eyes, and it was an orca all of a sudden. I find if you have a very basic pattern, sometimes they're the best because they allow you to add your own creativity and customize them a little bit. Moving on to the next category, we have decor. Okay, for me, decor includes homewares, okay? I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but to me, decor is ornaments, but also pot holders, placemats, things like that. The first pattern I have is the Crochet Bear coaster by Little Things on YouTube. I think coasters are a great place to start with decor. They're very small, simple, and you can make a bunch of them, obviously, to have sitting on your coffee table. And they also make good gifts. You can make a little coaster bundle, wrap it up in some string, and give them with some chocolates or something, I don't know. Another coaster pattern is the Quick and Easy Crochet Flower Coaster by Viv Crochets. This is also a YouTube tutorial. If you like flowers, this one is a really pretty option to make. Okay, next up I have a couple of basket patterns. Usually for baskets you use chunky yarn so it works up super quickly, super sturdy, and then you have a functional item to use at the end of it all. The first one I have is the Spikes Yarn Basket by Gleeful Things. This is a free pattern on their blog. This one I thought was just more interesting than a basic single crochet basket in the round. It's got some spike stitches where you can add a pop of color and it adds a little texture to the project. But if you want something a little bit more basic, I have the Easy Basket Pattern for Beginners by Handmade by May on YouTube. This one still is more interesting than just single crocheting in the round, but it is more basic than the spike stitch one. Next up, I have a few things you can use to decorate your car, so you can have something handmade with you when you're driving to school or work. So the first one I have is the Crochet Lily of the Valley tutorial by Little Things on YouTube. In the video, they use it as a headphone charm, which I think is also super cute. I would also put these on my headphones. I was thinking you could make the chain maybe a little bit longer, and then you can have it on your car mirror as well. The next pattern I have is also by me, but it's a free pattern pinned on my Instagram. It's the Crochet Bee car charm, and this one is a super simple little tiny bumblebee. I pretty much just sewed a loop of elastic into the bee and then put a little bead on it just to make it look cute at the bottom. And I like the elastic option as well instead of a longer chain because it allows the little charm to sit closer to the mirror rather than dangling too far down. But I still think the chain option is a cute idea. And if you don't have elastic and you'd rather just crochet a chain into the bee, you can also do that. The next pattern I have is the Cherry Car Hanging by May Crochets. It's a YouTube tutorial as well. I really like this design. I love how the leaves are like the adjustable drawstring kind of thing, and you can put on your car mirror or your bag or your headphones like the other pattern did. The rest of my decor patterns are actually for decorating your home. So now we have the Star Garland by the Caffeinated Snail. This is adorable. If you're willing to make a bunch of little stars and then do a little chain and attach them, that would be a super cute hanging to have on your wall, on your bed, over a window. Keeping in theme with the garlands, the next one I have is the Spring Flower Garland by Brambles and Heart. This is a free pattern on their blog. If you're not into the more celestial theme with the stars, you can have a more spring fairy vibe. There's so many garland patterns if you have a different aesthetic. So pretty much just put in your favorite object and search object garland crochet pattern and you'll find something pretty easy. Moving on, I have some cushion patterns for you. First up, I have the Moon Pillow by Beautiful Dawn Designs. This is a YouTube tutorial. So running again with this celestial theme, and I just think it's a super cute thing you can put on your bed or your couch or wherever you put a cushion, I don't know. Okay, I'm really keeping on with the celestial theme again, but I have a star pillow for you. It's the Star Pillow by Chantel and it's a YouTube tutorial. The next pillow I have is the No Sew Flower Pillow by Wonder Crochets. I have no idea how it's got no sewing. It's pretty awesome. It looks very plush, very comfy and squishy. And no sewing for all the petals I think is pretty interesting, so that would probably be a really fun thing to make. Next up, I have the Crochet Donut Pillow by Pops de Milk Crochet. This is a YouTube tutorial. Yeah, if you like having food-related decor around, or if you have younger siblings or kids, I think a kid would really like to have this in their bedroom. Who wouldn't want a donut cushion? The last pattern in the decor category I have is the Crochet Candy Hearts Pillow by Once Upon a Cheerio. This one also looks super plush, super comfy and cozy. For the pillows, you can stuff these with actual polyfill, or if you have an old cushion you don't like anymore, stuff it with that, or an old pillow that you want to replace, or scrap yarns, anything. An old teddy that's ripped up, I don't know. Stuff it with whatever. And for this pattern, it's called the Candy Hearts Pillow, but it doesn't actually have the Candy Hearts words on it. So if you're bothered after you make it, you can also either use fabric markers to write something on if you're not really an embroidery or applique kind of person. So you've gone through all the quick little projects, you've had your quick wins, your no-sew plushies, your little tiny AirPod pouches, and maybe you're hungry for something bigger. Maybe all of this for you has been leading up to designing and making your own clothes. So the last category I have for you is clothes. Like I said, I would recommend completing a few projects before attempting a bigger thing like clothes, like a jumper or a top. I think making something in one of the previous categories before making clothes is a good idea just to get your technique down. But these are all still super simple. You don't have to worry too much about shaping and blocking and, the more sort of advanced things that you might do later on in your crochet journey. First up, I have the Raglan top by It's Erin B. This is a YouTube tutorial, and I've actually used this several times to make a few raglan tops. It's super easy to follow. They show you exactly how to adjust it to fit your size. But if you're looking for a more unique top, I have the Star Sweater by Hopey Dope Official on YouTube. This still looks like an easy pattern to follow. I mean, it is a YouTube tutorial, so you'll see how to do everything. But yeah, it's something a bit more unique than just a raglan, I guess. Another more challenging project, it's the Heart Sweater by Chenda DIY. This is a YouTube tutorial as well. It looks super, super cute. And if you're not bothered to make it big and oversized like her one, you can do a cropped one as well to make it go by a bit quicker. Next up, I have the Hexagon Cardigan by Passionate Kelsey. You may have seen a lot of people making hexagon cardigans, and this is just a really easy pattern to follow. It might take you a while, but it won't be difficult. It's just kind of a bit of a long process. If you want something that will keep you occupied for a while, you can do it mindlessly while watching TV, I would definitely recommend tackling this project. But if you are not interested in making a jumper or a cardigan or any long sleeve top at the moment, I have the Granny Square vest for you by Passionate Kelsey as well. This is a YouTube tutorial, and this is basically 2 big granny squares sewn together with some rows to account for your shoulders and everything else, and a little border. Next up, I have the Granny Square cardigan tutorial by DIY Guru on YouTube. There are so many granny square cardigan designs. There's the oversized classic one that everyone does, but this one I thought was a little bit more unique. It uses really big granny squares, and I've seen people use a mix of like chunky wool and then mohair, but I think this look is pretty chic and interesting, and I think a beginner could definitely pull it off. The last 3 patterns I have for this category and for this video are top patterns by Passionate Kelsey. Passionate Kelsey used to be known as like the top girl. She would make so many crochet tops, and they all use a weight 5 cotton yarn, so they're very sturdy and they work up really quickly. And the YouTube tutorials are so easy to follow. So I just picked out a few that I think would be especially good for beginners. But if you want, you should definitely go and check her crochet top tutorial playlist. The first one I'm linking in this video is the Sneaker Peek top. I actually made this for my friend for Christmas last year, and she loves it, and I worked that thing up so fast, and it's so easy and so cute. Next up is the Lily top by Passionate Kelsey. I think this one is one of her first patterns that she made, and it's pretty classic, very easy. And the last pattern in the clothes category and for this video is the ruffle top by Passionate Kelsey. So this one is good if you want something with a little bit more visual interest. You want something a little less basic, a little less form-fitting, I suppose. And you also have the option of making the ruffle a bit longer if you don't want such a crop top. Speaking of tops, I actually made this top as well, just out of burlap velvet yarn. I like never wear this. I don't know why. It's pretty cute. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope this inspired you to start your crochet journey or gave you some really good ideas on what you'd want to do for your next project. And if you make any of these, please let me know in the comments or tag me on Instagram at Grace's Makes. I'd love to see things that you make with these patterns. Of course, tag the original designer of these patterns as well. I'm not going to bring Pippin over for this outro because she's just asleep in a little ball on my bed and I really feel bad bothering her. So, bye!